Welcome to Schloss Leopoldskron and the Salzburg Global Seminar. My guest is taking part in the first of a series of Salzburg seminars on health and healthcare. Vidhya Alakeson, Senior Fellow in Health Policy at the Nuffield Trust, and I think the Nuffield Trust was quite involved in organising this series.
Yes, we've been partnering with Salzburg Global Seminar and putting this together. So yes, it's been the first global health event that we've ever done, so it's been fantastic.
What are the most important aspects of health and healthcare that you hope will come out of this series, which will be addressed by this series? This first program I know is on healthcare reform, but there are others to come which will address other issues.
I think from the perspective of Nuffield, we're a UK-based organisation and we do a reasonable amount of work with other developed countries. But what we've discovered since being here for a few days is that there's a huge amount that we could learn from the rest of the world, from developing and low and middle income countries, many of whom we have no real relationship with at the moment. So this is a fantastic opportunity to develop a repository of great ideas from across the world.
Is this your first visit to Schloss Leopoldskron?
No, I've been lucky enough to be here once before.
Well, now you're going to be unlucky enough to be banished from the Alpine Palace, and you're going to be stranded on the top of the Untersberg, which is the mountain you can see if you look across the lake from the Schloss. But I will let you take 3 works of art, literature, entertainment that relate to your professional area, health and healthcare. What would your first choice be?
So my first choice is a book called Mountains Beyond Mountains. It's actually...
That's appropriate.
Yes, it is. I hadn't really even thought of it in that context. It's actually a healthcare book in some ways. It's about Paul Farmer, who is an infectious disease physician in the US. And it's a fascinating book because it's written by a journalist who followed Paul Farmer for a year. And Paul Farmer created an organisation called Partners in Healthcare, which is based in the US, and has gone around the world creating healthcare systems in some of the poorest countries. They've done a lot of work, for example, in Haiti. And the book really conveys the combination of leadership and passion and dedication to the cause that he has had in creating this new organisation and sort of rebuilding and creating from scratch healthcare systems in some of the poorest parts of the world.
And your second choice?
My second choice is, my first degree was in French and German, now utterly useless, but...
Not useless in Salzburg?
Not on the Untersberg. So I've sort of gone back into my mental repository of great works of literature related to health and came up with The Malade Imaginaire by Molière, which is a play from the 17th century in France and a comedy. So I thought maybe, I could keep the brain cells going on the Untersberg with a bit of French and laugh occasionally when it was funny.
And your final choice?
And my final choice is A Beautiful Mind, the film. I'm very interested in mental health and actually was somewhat unaware of what Tom Nash's story was when I actually saw the film, and was, I think the film was very clever in kind of not making it entirely clear at the outset what was going on in terms of his hallucinations and paranoia, and so it's a great film, could happily watch it several times, and has that relationship to healthcare because he was clearly suffering from a serious mental health condition but was able to win the Nobel Prize, which is a very positive story from what's often considered a life-ending condition.
Now, in the event of a blizzard, you may take refuge in a little cave on the Untersberg, but you'll only be able to keep one of your 3 choices. Which would that be?
That's an interesting one. I think maybe I'd keep Malade Imaginaire, because then, double whammy. Something to read, something to practice my French with, and maybe occasionally laugh. So I'll take that.
Vidhya, thank you so much for being our guest on the Untersberg.
Pleasure. Thank you.